Now joined by one of the GeneralSports.com athletes of the week, it's Julia McDonald of the field hockey team. Julia, 1-1 week for your team last week, but a couple of really good defensive performances, and yourself had to make a couple of big saves throughout the week. Just take us through last week against Randolph-Macon and number 6, Christopher Newport.
Yeah, so we had really good energy going into Randolph-Macon. We had a couple of unfortunate losses against Shenandoah and Lynchburg, but we took that as an opportunity to grow and learn from our mistakes. So defensively, we worked on defensive corners and working together as a unit. So I think we did that really well. So for CNU, we took that energy, that win against Randolph-Macon, and I think we did a really good job working together as a unit as well. And defensive corners also felt really great. We've been working on shifting together when the ball passes through the circle and working to limit those shots on the defensive corners.
This season, you've been taking on a bigger role of being the main starting goalie for your team. Last year, you kind of split a lot of time, didn't get as much time your first season, but this year you really had to take and do most of the goalkeeping for this squad. What has been the biggest change for you to get ready to play all these minutes?
For me, it's really try not to get heady as a goalie. It's really important not to overthink things and go by your instincts. So, for example, in CNU, they scored quickly in the first quarter, and I was able to forget that happened and focus on what was happening in front of me.
A couple of big games this week at Roanoke on Wednesday, home against Virginia Wesleyan for Senior Day. Some big games when it comes to the ODAC tournament, as well as a chance to possibly move up in the standings for next week's conference tournament. What do you have to do to walk away with a couple of wins?
Yeah, so we're hoping to take that energy from last week and fine-tune our possession and circle play, both on the offensive and defensive side, and really just go strong with a positive attitude into the next 2 games and into ODACs.
She's Julia McDonald of the field hockey team, one of our GeneralSports.com athletes of the week. Julia, thanks for joining us, and best of luck this week.
Thank you.
Now joined by one of the GeneralSports.com athletes of the week, it's Jacob Romero of the Washington Elite football team. Jacob, your team rushed for a season-high 477 yards on the ground. You scored a couple of touchdowns. What worked so well on Saturday against Ferrum in a 34-0 win?
Yeah, I feel like I say this every interview I have. Just good week of practice, being ourselves, working on our craft on all sides of the ball. Defense went 3 and out a bunch of times, so it's easy to go out there and get all those rushing yards. Shout out to the offensive line, and the receivers are doing what they can. They're blocking well, so it's really easy to do it with that. So,
I know last time you were here, you talked about not getting touched a lot when you get the ball. You feel like you've been able to get some yards before contact for a change, and not just running right into somebody. How big is the offensive line and the different type of guys that you bring in, both not only receivers and tight ends, but guys that help to make the running game so effective?
Yeah, so we have, like I said, receivers, linemen having a great season this year. And also, people who really don't get talked about are slots. Guys who get the ball 5 times a game, making those tough arc blocks, they make it really possible. And then also shout out to the scout guys during the week. It's probably one of the greatest comp we're going to get during the week before games. So, they give our guys a good look before. So, yeah.
Big game this Saturday at home, 3 o'clock against Randolph-Macon, the 2 teams that still have not lost in conference play, with only 3 weeks left in the regular season. A lot of implications for the potential postseason here. How are you guys staying locked in for Saturday's game?
Yeah, said a bunch of times. Just good week of practice, getting your work done, going to lift, just doing everything right, correct way, be ourselves, and everything on Saturday will work out. So, yeah.
He's Jacob Romero of the football team, one of our GeneralSports.com athletes of the week. Jacob, thanks for joining us, and best of luck this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.